welcome to Steve's Vintage Model Builds channel. Thanks to everyone joining me. Thank you for all my subscribers. And we're approaching 200 now. Almost there. Not quite, but we're getting there. And thanks to everyone in the community out there who's started following my channel. And appreciate all the comments of support. And it's always nice to know that people are enjoying what you do. And so anyways, it's the week before Christmas here, and you know, kids are off school, and you know, there's going to be a week between Christmas and New Year's. People might be sitting around on the couch wondering what to do. So I decided to do this little kit review here. Excuse me. There will probably be more. And if you haven't already, check out my three-part, well, two parts have been released. The third part's coming probably on Wednesday of this week. That'll be the 20th. And that's the 2023 year-end review and stash show. So we saw this in the well, you will see this in part 3, which is the ships. Parts 1 and 2 were the aircraft and ground vehicles. Most of them are military models. With the exception of the Titanic, I think they're all military models. So anyways, so today we've got the Tamiya 1700 Waterline Series, British Battleship Prince of Wales Battle of Malaya version. And so I've already started the Hasegawa Waterline Series Akagi kit, and it's pretty intricate, and so it's been a bit of a slog. I expect this will be an easier kit, but I'll finish the Akagi before I start another ship. A little note about the Waterline series. It was initially launched with 4 Japanese manufacturers who were members of the Shizuoka Plastic Model Manufacturers Association in May 1971. And all the big model kit, Japanese model kit manufacturers are located in Shizuoka. Tamiya's headquarters are there, Aoshima, Hasegawa. Initially, Fujimi was part of the consortium, which was basically just like a mold sharing and design sharing enterprise. But Fujimi left in 1992 and launched their own line named Seaway Model Series. So, as the name suggests, the models are produced only, they're flat-bottomed, so they're perfect for going on the shelf or in dioramas. There's over 180 products in the series, and most of them are ships from World War II navies. Originally, they started off, it was just Imperial Japanese Navy ships, but then they've expanded from there. And for the most part, from what I'm seeing, they're good kits. So, and also, the 1/700 scale, they've pretty much established that as the standard of the smaller. There's Revell does 1/720, but everybody else does 1/700, and then of course there's the 1/350s and 1/1200s. But the 1/700 is a good scale because it's not too small, but it doesn't take up. They don't take up too much space on the shelf. So let's get into it and take a look. I got this, actually I think this was like maybe the second ship I bought. And it's the Battle of Malaya version, Prince of Wales. A little bit about it. unfortunately, at the Battle of Malaya, it was sunk, and it had the unfortunate distinction of being the first ship to be sunk by air power alone. Up until then, it was, well, at first it was just battleships going at each other and destroyers and so on and so forth. And then as aircraft advanced, and they were able to bomb and torpedo, they were used in conjunction. But this was the first case of where it was entirely air power. Planes took off from bases on the land, maybe one or two aircraft carriers, but I think they were land-based aircraft at the time. And yeah, unfortunately, she was sunk. At the time, it was a great shock for the British. She was really the pride of the British Navy, and just like the Hood, not considered unsinkable, but considered too powerful for any other battleship at the time. But as I said, it wasn't a battleship that sunk them, it was aircraft. Alright, so we'll start with the box. The shipping, it came, it came in a proper cardboard sleeve, whatever. Box is totally undamaged, no dents, no creases, no nothing. And so yeah, so the box art's very nice, and it also includes a couple of bombers, a torpedo bomber and a regular bomber from the Japanese Air Force. And this is catalog number 31615. Excuse me. And it says, yeah, so you get the Type 1 attack bomber Kanoya Flying Group, and the Type 96 attack bomber Genzan Flying Group. One of the reviewers and builders of this kit thought it was rubbing it in a bit to include those aircraft. But if you wanted to make a realistic diorama of the battle, you pretty much need them. And so we get the usual stuff on Tamiya, ready to assemble, precision model kit. Modeling skills helpful, under 10 years of age. Kit contains parts for one model, cement and paint not included. And as Tamiya does, they don't put any information in English on the box. It's all in Japanese. And so let's open her up. Set aside the instructions. Oh, and I should say this kit costs about $50 Canadian, and it's about the same now, 49 something. Yeah, so we get the regular Tamiya tech tips, and for any novice modeler, gives you some great tips there. They recommend Tamiya extra thin cement as well as regular cement. I use extra thin, the Tamiya extra thin cement, along with Mr. Cement Deluxe. It's a thicker cement. And so it gives you all the tools you're going to need, how to do things. Just basically a bunch of helpful tips, which is great if you're starting out and you don't have, if you're an older person and you're just getting into the hobby, or getting into the hobby again, it's really handy. And if you're a young person who doesn't have the advantage of a mentor sitting right beside you, gives you some great lessons there. As always, with the model kits, with glue and paint, especially, you should always be working in a well-ventilated area. Make sure windows are open, or whatever the case may be. And likewise, you want to have lots of light. You don't want to strain your eyes, young or old. You don't want to ruin your eyes if you're young, and as we all know, as we get older, our eyes get weaker, and it's harder to see things. So lots of light really helps with that. I also have a light, most modelers do. I have a light, it's a circular light with a magnifying glass in the middle. So if you're working with really small, delicate parts, you can pull that down. And I also have like one of those visor things that has different magnifications as well as a light. It's a little heavy and clunky. I don't use it a lot, but for certain things it comes in pretty handy. All right, so here we go. As I said, there were no dents or creases or anything in the box, but it looks like we've got a bit of blistering, probably just from it rattling around in the box. Here are the aircraft, and looks like the little stands for the aircraft. And we'll open her up here. Tamiya is still using staples, which to me is kind of weird, but they know their business. So what I like best is the fold-over bag that has some adhesive, so you can open it, reseal it, and of course then there's the heat-sealed bags as well. So it looks like we got three aircraft, and boy, those tiny propellers, they're going to be a challenge to put on. I guess these are the two torpedoes. I'm not sure where the stick is for the stand, probably somewhere along in here. So yeah, there's some nice detail. You can see the panel lines. I don't know if you can, my camera's not the greatest, but you get the right angle, you can see the panel lines. Of course, there's no clear parts, they've got a little bubble. It'd be interesting interesting to find out how to paint those up. Same with the underside, there are some injection pin marks, but you're really not going to see those, and they're easily sanded out. Nothing bent or broken, and no flash whatsoever that I'm seeing. So here we go. We've got the hull of the ship and the bottom taped on, which is very nice. Fit looks pretty much perfect. That is a challenge with a lot of the ship models, is the fit, whether the hull goes together in two pieces like this, or whether it fits as one piece on the bottom here. But this looks to be excellent, and there's nice detail. You can see the wooden decking, and again, very little or no flash. In the Waterline series, they also provide this. I'm not entirely sure why. Excuse me. At first I thought it was a weight so you could float it. Not sure why anyone will want to do that. But I think it's more because they're so light and delicate. You plunk that in, and this has some weight to it. I haven't weighed it, but you know, probably more than an ounce. Anyways, I'll have to look that up. And so yeah, I mean, you can plunk it right down on the shelf, and if the cat walks by, or you know, you bump it or you brush it, it's not just going to fly off. Okay, so we've got the hull and the bait and the bottom, and we've got the bag with 2 sprues here with the aircraft. There's some more aircraft here, including the Walrus float plane that was part of the Prince of Wales complement. Again, no flash, a little bit of blistering where it's kind of been bumped around. But we've got a motor launch, a couple boats here. That's the thing I had the most problems with the Akagi. There were a lot of little boats there, and they weren't just in one piece. Some of them were in 2 pieces or 3 pieces. Have to be in the right kind of mood to tackle those, to paint them up. But it's coming along, and the pre-painting, most of the pre-painting's done. And I'll just take it through step by step. Okay, so here again, the second sprue bag. There's some very tiny, delicate parts here, and nothing's been broken or bent. Everything looks to be fabulous, absolutely perfect. This is the bow, again with the boats, not too many of them. There's a whole bunch of teeny tiny little rafts here, but they're an easy paint job. And more miscellaneous parts here. Different bits of rigging and masting. Again, nothing bent or broken, even though they're very delicate. That's very nice. Each sprue is marked A, B, C, whatever. There's no clear parts, of course. Move that over. And again, I'm not seeing any flash at all. There's another bomber, another Walrus here. Nice rigging, masts. There you go. Good stuff. And these are the posts for they're made of metal. Looks like they're aluminum, maybe, but they might just be regular steel. And these are for the bombers. Looks like well, we got a few bombers there, so we might have to cut these in half or more, depending. But that's very nice. We've got the decal set, and the decal set is mostly, unfortunately there's no flags, but I have flags from another kit. That's not a problem. These are decals, looks like mostly for the aircraft. So nice looking kit, beautiful parts, beautiful molding, as you'd expect from Tamiya. That goes on the bottom. Goes on top. Alright, and so now we move over here to the instructions. They're all in black and white, and Tamiya has done these in the fold-out vertical style rather than a booklet style. I'm not going to read through everything, but there's extensive information here. Information about the the defeat and the sinking, information about the Prince of Wales itself, how it was involved in the hunt for the Bismarck, information on the Battle of Malaya, and a couple really cool things here. They've got a minute by minute account of the battle, the various different events during the battle, and also a very nice map with everything marked out on it. All right, so here we go. We start with the hull assembly. There's a well to put that metal piece in. I suppose you could glue it down. Probably need crazy glue or super glue, whatever you want to call it. And they've got a note here, when no color is specified, paint parts with the hull color, which I think is pretty much, it's gray. But they had the zebra camouflage effect. I can't remember what that's called. And so yeah, it gives you the details here, what to paint, the various parts when it's not the hull color. There's a couple holes you need to drill from time to time. And then we've got the hanger assembly for the walrus. I guess there's two of them, so the walruses, along with the boats, various different, mostly boats here. Then the funnel assembly, second funnel, pom-pom guns, bridge base. As you'd expect with Tamiya, all very clear, simple steps. They're pictorial, very little verbiage, just basically explaining what the piece is, how it all goes together. Then we got the dual purpose guns. They can be angled in two different ways. And here we've got the, you have to drill the hole, widen the hole a bit in the base, and glue it with super glue. And yeah, here's the metal support. It says cut to required length. So you might be able to get away cutting that into three, each into three, but I think probably two would be better. But to each their own. Then we've got step 8, the assembly for the main guns and the crane assembly. The crane is for the walrus float planes. They'd be taken off the deck and plumped in the water. When they come back, they're picked up again. And then step number 10 is attaching the turrets and the communications masts and so on and so forth. They don't give any details on how to do the rigging here, antenna rigging and so on and so forth. But easy enough to figure out from photos, and that really is a very fiddly job. So, all right, so yeah, 10 steps, all pretty straightforward. You know, everybody does it in steps, but Tamiya does a great job with it, and so it's very easy. If you're like me, you know, I'm not in a big hurry. I don't rush to get it all done at once. Although sometimes I will sit here in the hobby room working away for hours at a time. My wife has to come knock on the door. Come on, it's time to go to bed. So yeah, so there we go. So unfortunately, you know, Matt, not a happy ending at all. And here we've got the painting for the zebra camouflage, the deck, aircraft, the decaling, so on and so forth. All right, so as promised, a fairly short one, less than 30 minutes, or about 30 minutes. We'll wrap it up here with the kit rating, and I'll put a card up for how I rate the kits. Basically, it's 10 standard points, 2 points up to 2 points for packaging, up to 2 points for sprues, up to 3 points for parts and instructions. So it's 10 points. Bonus points of a quarter point per category for any kind of wow factor. If there's anything that, you know, really stands out, looks really nice. And also up to 1 bonus point for value. When I talk about value, it's not just strictly the price, but it's the price against how many hours of enjoyment I can expect to get out of it. And also, you know, the quality of the plastic and the overall quality of the kit. Okay, so for packaging, yeah, we got a full 2 points there. Sprues, again, full 2 points. Nothing was broken, nothing bent, no flash. There were injection pin marks on those little aircraft, but I'm not going to ding them for that. They were on the underside of the wing, and as I said, easily sanded down. So a full 3 for the quality of the plastic, the details. As I said, no warped or broken parts. Actually, I'm going to make that 2.75 because they didn't include any British flags or signal flags. But there were no masks, not necessary, no photo etch, and no aftermarket parts included in the kit. Instructions, out of 3 points, that's going to be 2.75. They lose a quarter point because there's nothing in color, although the box art is really nice. And as far as bonus points per category, I'm going to give a quarter for the packaging. The box art's really nice, and the shipping packaging was perfect, no problems there. And another quarter point for the sprues that were absolutely, you know, pristine as far as flash goes and so forth. So that's an additional half. And for value, $50 kit, going to give it a quarter point. Alright, so we total that up, and it comes to 10.25 out of 12, which is very respectable. Certainly if you're a novice, just getting back into the hobby or just starting out into the hobby, this would be a good kit. Not too complicated. Lots of little extra details if you want to put them in there. So yeah, overall, pretty much what I'd expect from a Tamiya kit. And I'm not sure when this. Oh, and another bonus: this was made in the Philippines, not some other place where a lot of things come from. And I don't see a copyright date here, but I expect this was late 70s, early 80s. The copyright here is 2004, but that's probably for the instructions. We'd have to go on to ScaleMates to find when it was actually tooled. But as I always say, just because the kit's older doesn't mean that it's not going to be any good. As a matter of fact, a lot of the older kits, especially the Tamiya ones, and Matchbox, can't forget Matchbox, they're a lot better than a lot of the kits being produced today. A lot of thought and quality and design engineering went into them, and they're still out there because they've stood the test of time. So that's it for today, and hope everyone has a safe and happy holidays over the next couple weeks. And remember, don't drink and drive, and if you're out there, watch out for people who do. And again, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we'll be seeing you again soon. Thanks for watching.